just isn't any room for you in the show. And the animals right here. You know, besides, this show is called It All Started with a Mouse. So even if I wanted to fit you in the show, not sure how. But listen, I know what you can do. Why don't you help me sit on the stage? That'd be so nice. Thank you, Charlotte. I got everybody in.
Because the story of Mickey is truthful, the real beginning of Disney.
Hi, good morning everybody. Welcome to Rafiki's Planet Watch. I see you lovely ladies. Got some folks to join us. You guys did a great job bringing people over. Thank you for that. Well, my name is Julie. I'm one of the animal keepers that works here. We're very excited that you decided to join us today. We have lots of cool animals to show you, like those rats that are there. You may have seen little Mikey right on the lever. Very, very cool animals to introduce you to. Just to let you know, this is about a 20-minute show. It's kind of interactive. We will have critters running and joining you in the audience. So if you need to leave us before we end, just check with Donna back there. She will let you know if it's a good time. There she goes. Wait for the camera, Donna. Good job. All right. So just check with her. But since you guys are here at Walt Disney World, Disney's Animal Kingdom, I'm hoping you guys probably pretty much like animals, right? Natural World is pretty cool. Walt Disney liked the natural world too. In fact, he even said it all started with a mouse, which of course is Mickey and all of his friends. But did you know that his first color cartoon actually featured flowers and trees? And you're probably familiar with all the princesses, but the original Disney princess was none other than Snow White. She had all of her forest friends to help her out while she whistled, while she worked. And sometimes we have some of those little friends join us here in the greenhouse. So I'm going to see if Finn is willing to wake up from his nap, come out of his little box here, and see if he will join us. Hi, Finn. Now you guys probably will recognize exactly what Finn is. What is he? No owl. Yeah, good job. But what you may not know is Finn is actually a full-grown owl. A lot of folks think that this is a baby, but this is actually as big as they get. It's called an eastern screech owl. It's a type of owl that's native here in North America in the eastern half. If you live in the western half, you might have the western screech owl. Funny how those things work out. And he is actually about 3 years old. They are full size by about 3 months, so they grow super, super fast. But don't let his little size fool you. He is actually a fierce little predator. These guys, being birds of prey, will eat things like small rodents and even bugs. So he's got lots of tools to help him out with that, like those feet with those talons. One thing, though, that you might notice about Finn, did you guys see that there's something a little different? He's missing an eye, yeah. So typically these guys have awesome eyesight to be able to find their food. Unfortunately for Finn, when he was out in the wild, he fell out of his nest. You see, owls are not the best at making nests. They prefer a nice hollowed out cavity, like an old tree, to nest in. And unfortunately his mom wasn't able to find that. So she did the best job that she could, but her nest fell apart. Out tumbled Finn and he injured that eye. So he won't be able to survive out there in the wild, but don't feel too bad for him because actually, if he were out in the wild, he might be at his maximum lifespan. Typically, these guys only live to be about 3 or 5 years out in the wild. Here with us, he can live to over 15, and then for those years, work as a fabulous ambassador. Now, if you want to help little guys like Finn out here, one of the things that you can do is actually provide them with that cavity to nest in, kind of like this box that he came out of. Just by providing something like an owl nest box, you can actually help out little guys like that. And in exchange, you get free rodent control. So it's actually kind of a win-win for both parties involved. Thank you, Finn. We'll let you go in there and continue your little nap. Now, early on in Disney studio history, the animation wasn't exactly as natural as typically depicted in the films today. And even with the success of Snow White, Walt Disney wasn't 100% happy with the way that the animals turned out in that film. So for one of his next projects, and this was a project where there were no humans in it whatsoever, it was all animal stars. Of course, I'm talking about Bambi. He took a little different approach to help inspire his animators. Not only did he film animals out in their natural habitat to give animators an idea how to draw, but he even brought them into the studio for the animators to watch. And I think that it's with the success of Bambi that we truly began to appreciate how Walt valued animals as art. Now, speaking of which, we have a cute little girl joining us today who is a work of art all on her own. Her name is Baby Cakes. She is a blue and gold macaw. Now, these guys are found in the tropical rainforest of South America, and macaws are pretty adept with their feet. Of course, they have those beautiful wings to help them fly through the rainforest, but they also like to feast on things like fruits and nuts, so they have to be able to figure out how they can manipulate that stuff without the use of hands. So when you watch her, she's actually pretty amazing with those feet. I know, I gave you a long string today, make you work out a little bit. Good job. So she can go ahead and crack open those seeds and nuts with her beak, and that's actually pretty easy when those peanuts. She can crack open something like a Brazil nut, no problem. Pretty amazing. And their job out there in the wild is actually pretty much what she's doing now. She's kind of messy when she eats. She'll drop a lot of food. And to top it off, they actually go to the bathroom quite a bit too, about every 15 minutes. But both of those things can help out the rainforest. That food that she drops can help to feed lots and lots of, oh, you dropped a feather. Don't worry, she'll pluck it out. That's pretty cool. They actually molt their feathers twice a year, get brand new feathers. So that was just a loose one that she just decided to bring out for you guys today. She might carry that back with her. Yeah, good job. So these guys will go ahead and feast out in the rainforest, drop food. Little critters can follow underneath parents, get kind of a free buffet. But also with the fact that they go to the bathroom, there are some seeds that cannot grow unless it passes through the digestive system of an animal such as this. So by flying through the rainforest, depositing those little fertilized packages, she can actually help to replenish the rainforest. You gonna drop that for us? There we go, demonstrate that second part. That's fabulous. Now, one of the other things that parrots are probably most famous for is their ability to mimic. And we don't really call it talking. They will copy different sounds that they hear, but obviously out in the rainforest, they aren't necessarily going to hear human speech. More than likely, they're going to hear other animals out there. Now, Baby Cakes has been here at Walt Disney World for about 30 years. She's had a long career here, and in that time, she's learned a few different sounds. Of course, one of the things that she probably heard the most often was, can you tell them? Hello, good job. So she heard hello quite a bit, but probably the other phrase that these guys hear most often, even though her name is Baby Cakes, everybody seems to think that Polly wants something, right? So Polly want a cracker? Oh, you still have a mouthful. Oh, I'm sorry. I know, you shouldn't talk with your mouth full. All right. Can you say cracker? Cracker. Cracker? Yeah, that was pretty good. But of course, out in the rainforest, they might hear other sounds too, different sounds from different critters that might be out there, like maybe a jungle cat. Good job. So those are just a few of the things that she's learned to mimic. Don't expect all parrots to do that though. She is actually one in a million. Not all parrots will learn to mimic sounds. They can, just like we could all play an instrument. It's just kind of a hobby for them. Some like it and some don't. But even if they don't mimic sounds, I still think they're pretty gorgeous. You go ahead and show off your wings there. You show off your wings, good job. And can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye, good job, all right. Now my partner Stephanie is gonna come out and she's gonna introduce you to a different type of animal.
Thank you so much, Julie. All right, so like Julie said, my name is Stephanie, and I decided to bring out something that Florida is known for. So I'm gonna bring him a little bit closer to you guys, if that's okay. Is that all right, everybody? Okay. So this is your American alligator, and we're talking about animals as art. And I realize that when you see something like the macaw or the parrot, it's really easy to say that animal's beautiful and you can see how it's painted. But sometimes art can take a different form, like camouflage. Now, how many of you guys have seen an adult alligator before? Anybody? Most of you? If you haven't, Florida's a good space to spot one out there in the wild. So they look almost identical to the adults, but there is one difference. Does anybody know what that is? Those yellow stripes, exactly. So that is their form of camouflage. Now, when they first hatch out of the egg, they're about 10 inches, and that's pretty teeny tiny. And so they have to be able to defend themselves. And one way to do so is to camouflage themselves. So all of these yellow stripes is going to look very similar and help blend into the grasses where they call their home out there in the wild. Now also, Mama Gator kind of helps out, and she'll hang about and make sure the babies are staying safe too. But it doesn't help to have your own little pattern here to make sure that you're staying safe. Now also, they have something that's called counter, that's the word I'm looking for, counter camouflage. So what that happens is they have an underbelly like this that's very cream colored and very light. So when you are under the water and you're looking up, it's pretty light, right? You see the sunlight shining through, and so they can camouflage themselves that way. And when you're above looking down, it's pretty dark in that murky water, and so that's going to help them when they're darker down here looking down as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and take this little guy back into the greenhouse, because even though he's adorable, I'm sure he wants to go back home. Thank you so much, Julie. So hopefully you guys are here at Animal Kingdom because you've been inspired by animals, whether it's art or just because they are inspiring, because after all, nature certainly has a way of doing so. So with our next animal that we're going to see, they definitely have a way of inspiring art as well. So we'll go ahead and grab her over here. Oh. Donna? What's going on?
I think she wants to be part of the show, Steph.
Okay, well Charlotte can't be part of the show because the show is called It All Started with a Mouse.
Okay.
How long has that been like that? Okay, Charlotte, I think you have a little bit of explaining to do. Yeah, you. You wouldn't mind coming up here and joining us, that'd be wonderful. Oh, now you pick up speed because you know you're in trouble, aren't you? All right, come on up here and tell me a little bit about this because I'm pretty sure that I recognize your hoof prints all over this sign. Yeah, thank you for joining me. Are you responsible for
Hey
this?
Stephanie, have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
Oh, good. What are you doing, Charlotte? I mean, she's not even on the list, but clearly she kind of thought she should be.
All right, well, I've showed this to her once, but I will show this to you once again because clearly you didn't get it the first time. There is no...
I think she just made a spot. Obviously, Charlotte wants to join us for the show.
But she can't join us for the show because we're talking about animals with art. So,
We are, but she does have some obvious artistic skills, right? And this is the place where dreams come true, so maybe we should go ahead and let Charlotte paint.
you guys want to see a pig paint? Yeah.
Yeah, no,
she agrees with me.
Yeah, I was going to say that audience didn't seem like they really wanted the pig to paint. Do you guys want to see a pig paint? Yeah, all right. Well, you know what? Sorry, Stephanie. You know what? Every great artist also needs an assistant. So is there anybody out there who would like to help Charlotte paint? I see somebody is pointing you out right there. Would you like to come up, Princess? No, you don't want. It's really easy, and I tell you what, you're going to get something to take home with you. All right, I saw another. What are these? Are moms just pointing out their kids, offering them up? Like a, yeah?
I need somebody to clean my house.
Come on up. You're in the front row.
No, take yours.
Come on up. Join Donna over there, please.
Oh.
Please. Oh.
Okay, Julie, it's official then. I guess nobody wants to
I guess nobody. All right, Charlotte, you're just gonna go ahead up.
Hey, don't make us beg, please. This is the part of the show we need somebody to help.
Nobody had never had this happen. That's great. There you go.
Yeah.
What is your name? What is her name? Jessica, you are fabulous. Thank you for joining us. Now, we probably should learn a little bit about something about Charlotte.
I guess we should.
Yeah.
So Cooney pigs are found over in New Zealand.
They are. Yeah.
Charlotte is about 3 years old, so she's not quite done growing yet. She's got a little bit weight to put on, but not much.
She's going to get a little bigger. And do you know that Cooney pigs were actually almost extinct? They were down to only about 18 individuals. So at one point they almost disappeared. But there were a lot of fans out there of the Cooney pigs. They didn't want them to disappear. They banded together and started a breeding program. And now there are over 5,000 Cooney pigs in New Zealand alone, which is where they're from. So that's pretty amazing. And not only can pigs paint, they're also pretty darn smart. They're one of the smartest animals out there, and they have an amazing sense of smell. So even though she can use her snout to paint, she can also use it to look for different stuff. So I think that we did a pretty good job there. Are you happy with your painting? Yeah? So yes, give her a round of applause. We are going to go ahead and get that painting ready for you so you can take it home with you.
All right, and we're going to clean up Charlotte's nose and me too, I guess.
Yeah, I think you
Come
know.
on, Charlotte.
So thank you very much. That was pretty awesome. We'll bring it out to you at the end of this show. And we were talking about something before we were interrupted by that pig. We were kind of talking about Walt Disney and art, right? So for one of Walt Disney's next projects, he did something a little different, but we'll just go ahead and let Walt tell you himself.
One thing has always led to another here, and Bambi was no exception. The wildlife scenes in this research yielded an unexpected dividend. An idea for a new motion picture series we called The True Life Adventure.
Anybody out there remember the True Life Adventures? Yeah, I see a few nods out there. These were award-winning documentaries that featured lots of animals out in their natural habitat and probably inspired a lot of folks out there to maybe pursue a career in the animal field. But I know for me, one of my inspirations were the pets that I had when I was younger. I had a lot of hamsters, and hamsters, of course, are rodents. We have a little different rodent to introduce you to. She is super, super cute. This is Maleficent. And a great name, right? If you guys have seen the movie, awesome movie. But this is Maleficent, and she is a domestic rat, just like the rats that you saw run along the road. And one of the things that you might not realize is rats can actually make pretty good pets for some folks out there. They can be an excellent first pet. They're very smart. You can teach them to do practically anything that you could teach a dog to do. And they actually have kind of a short lifespan too, so if you're worried about having a pet after your kids go to college, only about 2 or 3 years for these guys, which can be kind of handy compared to, like, say, the parrot that could live for 60 years or more. However, anytime you're looking into a pet, you want to do your research. Make sure you know what you're getting into. One thing with rodents, they have teeth that continually grow. So you want to give them lots and lots of things to chew on to help keep their dentures, their little teeth, they're healthy. So we're going to go ahead and send Maleficent back into this lovely log. And we might be joined by another animal because rodents actually make up about 40% of all the mammals that are out there in the world. And they do come in all different shapes and sizes. So we thought we'd introduce you to a little different type of rodent. You'll probably recognize what she is when she comes out. What is she? Porcupine. Good job. Oh, she said, nope, and I'm done with the show. Ran off. We'll get her back out here probably. So that is Libby. I know that was a really brief introduction. If you want to see more African-crested porcupines like Libby, we actually have her family over at the Tree of Life. You can check them out there. They'll stay on stage a little longer than she did. But we'll see if we can go ahead and bring her out again. She is pretty cool. She, of course, is recognized by all those quills that she has all over her body. She has about 30,000 quills, which is pretty amazing. And to give you an idea, that parrot that we had out has about 30,000 feathers. Kind of cool how those numbers are the same. So we're going to have her just come out and do a little brief thing, and you can check out those quills. Now when she comes out, you don't have to worry about it. If you've heard that old wives' tale about how porcupines shoot their quills, that's actually a myth. Their quills are a modified hair, so they can no more shoot their quills at you than you can shoot your hair off to your neighbor. It's just not going to happen. But it does give them an amazing amazing defense all over their body. If a predator decides to come too close, those porcupines can stamp their feet. They might turn around a little bit, show off those back quills, and she even has specialized quills in the back that she can shake, and it will make the sound of a rattle to hopefully scare off any potential predators. So she did a great job. She came back out. Thank you, Libby. That was awesome. And Stephanie's going to introduce you to another type of animal that has an amazing defense.
Thank you so much. So we're going to take our own true life adventures from Africa and bring them right back here to North America with this stinking cute little guy. If I do say so myself. Hi, come this way. This is Eddie, and Eddie is a striped skunk. So this is a species that you find here in Florida and also throughout the United States. So we mentioned they have a pretty good defense. What do? They spray, absolutely. Now they're not going to try to spray you right away because they can only spray about 3 to 4 times until that scent gland is completely empty, and they have to wait about a whole 10 days for that to refill again. So the last thing you want to be is defenseless for 10 days out in the wild. So instead, very similar to what a porcupine is going to do, they're going to try to fake you out. They're going to bluff you. So they're going to raise that tail, they're going to hiss, they may stomp their feet, they may do everything that lets you know that they're angry and it's time to leave them alone. However, people scare at different rates just like animals do, so you may have one that's more readily to spray right away. And when they do, they can spray about 9 feet accurately and hit exactly what they're trying to hit. I know you're scared in the front row, huh? Don't worry. Now with a good wind, that mist can travel much farther. You're looking at about 22 feet, and that smell, you can smell a skunk up to a mile away, so it's quite a potent defense that works for them. But they do a lot of good things out in the wild too, because they are opportunistic omnivores. They eat just about anything, including insects. So they're one of those animals out there that are helping to control the insect population. So that was Eddie. Thank you so much for joining us, Eddie. So we hope you guys will continue your own true life adventures no matter where you go, whether here at the Disney parks or in your own backyards, because after all, nature is everywhere. And speaking of nature being everywhere, this show is not quite done yet, so make sure you keep those seats and keep those aisleways clear.
Yep, definitely. And Walt Disney certainly was way ahead of his time. He had a lot of visions when it came to nature, and his legacy lives on today, not only in Disney's Animal Kingdom, but also in the theater. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Disney Nature series. This was pretty awesome, kind of an update to those true life adventures, and it featured a lot of different types of environments. This year we had my favorite, which was bears, so pretty cool. And if you guys want to have your own adventures in your own backyard, you can simply provide a backyard habitat. If you met Finn at the beginning, a little nest box would have helped him out tremendously. Or, if you guys out there are not huge fans of mosquitoes, and I don't know who is, this little box right there is a bat box. One bat can eat about 10,000 mosquitoes in a night. So they can be a great way to help out with that pest control. Or if you don't want to get fancy, you can just go ahead and simply put out a bird bath. Sometimes it's the little things that we do that can make a huge, huge difference. Walt Disney was certainly a visionary, not only in arts and entertainment, but also in helping us to appreciate the world in which we live.
You've probably heard people talk about conservation. Well, conservation isn't just the business of a few people. It's a matter that concerns all of us. It's a science whose principles are written in the oldest code in the world, the laws of nature. The natural resources of our vast continent are not inexhaustible. But if we will use our riches wisely, if we will protect our wildlife, and preserve our lakes and streams, these things will last us for generations to come.
All right, so we're not done yet. We do have another little guy to introduce you to. And just to let you guys know, this is a little bird, and he's going to be joining you out in the audience. One thing about Kevin, though, he does like to land on heads. So we just want to give a little warning out there. I know it's kind of a tiny audience, so you guys are probably fair game, every single one of you. You might wind up with a bird on your head. If that happens, just sit there. He just likes to use you as a little landing perch. And we have our volunteer here. Who's our volunteer?
This is Emily.
Emily, thank you for being our Kevin perch. So we'll go ahead and introduce you to Kevin. He is a little cuckoo. Actually, he's a lot cuckoo. He is specifically a Kira cuckoo. which is a type of cuckoo found in South America. Now, Kevin has a pretty important job out there in the wild. He's an insectivore. He likes to eat lots and lots and lots of bugs. So a pretty great job, but one thing that you can do to help out birds like Kevin here is to just be careful of the pesticides that you might use out there, because those could certainly hinder the job that they do if they eat some of those bugs that are not that are sprayed with poison. All right, so Kevin, we've gotten to the hardest part of the show, which is actually getting you to leave, but he may do a fabulous job. Cross your fingers. We'll see if he'll exit home. Ah, he's thinking about it. Nope, he said I want to take another bow. Another bow for Kevin. He says, all right, we'll try take 2. And now you can clap. So great job, thank you, Emily. You did fabulous.
All right, now Julie was mentioning before that we all have our part, and it can be as simple as recycling. Do you guys recycle at home? Most of you do? Excellent. But did you know that buying recycled products is just as important as recycling itself? And you guys are using 2 products right now. Those benches you're sitting on, those that are made at about 1,600 milk jugs. So if you look at all the benches that are here, that really adds up. And also, what is that stuff under your feet? Tires, shredded automobile tires. So again, things that are no longer taking up space in landfills that we put to use every day. So we hope while you're out shopping that you please consider buying recycled products as well. All right, now as soon as Julie comes back out here, what do you guys think?
Hi.
Oh, here, hi. You scared me.
Just get one of our stars. So
You're not even camouflaged.
I'm not even camouflaged. So I think our stars did a great job. I thought I'd bring out Finn here for another bow. He did fabulous. Yeah, and thank you to our volunteers. We're going to bring out your paintings. And look who decided to bring you a flower, Stephanie. We can't forget our little pig extraordinaire. So thank you guys very much for joining us today. We do have other animal encounters inside the building every hour on the hour. And if you want to meet some of our other stars, we have a bunch of them out in the affection section. You can go say hi there. But otherwise, I think on behalf of Stephanie and myself, we're going to wish you a wild time here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. You guys want to come say hi to Charlotte?